Hey guys, so today I wanted to incorporate weights into stretching to help you to get a more even and flat split. So a lot of the time we are tight in these hip flexors here, and then we get this arch forward, slumping down, and we don't get any opening up here, because to open the hip flexors we need this straight core. So I wanted to teach you a little bit about how to do that with some weighted plates, so when you're working on your splits. So when we come into the splits, here, a lot of the time we dump down, as you can see here in the core, and we open out here to the side. And we come into a split, sure, but there's not an equality into the splits. And so when we're training, we taught, for example, that we sit up tall and push ourselves back, but we still have quite a deep opening here. Sometimes we're taught to twist across to open up our splits, but there's other ways that you can also open up into the hip flexor. So I have here 10 kilo weighted plates. You can have more or less depending on you. The first thing I would suggest you do is on the front leg, bring the weight onto the leg here and pull it across so you're able to open up into the hamstring and stretch the hamstring better and pull it across above the knee, not to hurt the knee, and holding here. You want to hold these stretches for 2 to 5 minutes to really build up endurance and get this natural flexibility. This would be the first component of the stretching, and it brings you along to help you straighten up into the hamstring and rotate into it. If you want to add additional flexibility into increasing the hip flexor, you can turn the weight up and put it into the hip flexor here. This is going to increase the depth of flexibility in the hip flexor. Holding here is going to help you to open that front hip flexor. You can then, from here, I have a second weight, so bring that second weight across. So when you do it, you can add both of these plates together. So the first plate will be coming across, as we mentioned. Now, you will have a little bit of rock and roll with trying to figure out the balance of these plates, so don't stress if you're feeling that way. So the first plate, what I would suggest you do is put it to the side of your leg, getting ready to pull it across like this. And the second plate, place on into your hip flexor here. And now pull this plate across, and you've got not only working on your hamstring, but your hip flexor to open it up with the pushing down here and the pulling here, making sure you're nice and up tall. Now, with that being said, we also have the option to work on our back hip flexor, which you can see is often the one that turns us out and is often quite raised. So in the fleshy part of your glute, you put this weight, okay, on the fleshy part. And it's going to, as you watch, push me down and sit me up tall. And then I'm now working my back hip flexor to go deeper into the stretch, okay? And I've been holding this for quite some time now, and that's to build up endurance. And you can rock back a little bit. You can also pulse forward into this movement to get a little bit more depth as well if you want to. And finally, if you want to work both, place this weight down onto your glute and leg for your back hip flexor, and place this weight here across the leg, pulling it across, rotating your leg across for the front. And then you've got a double working, sitting up nice and tall, pulling your belly button into spine, really opening it up into deepening and flattening the splits, and also being able to get a more solid split safely and flat whilst preparing yourself for other moves that you may want to go into the advanced later on. Now, as I said, you really want to hold these. You're going to have to play with plates. But here's a great way to deepen those splits. Be gentle when you come out. You're probably going to feel a fair bit of intensity into it. You may want to do a hero's pose just to realign, you know, your hip flexors a little bit, lying back here or here afterwards, just setting off to relax. But this is a great way, about 5 minutes each side, using weights to really open up into your hip flexors open up into your hamstrings safely and deepen and make your splits more even. I hope you enjoyed and have a great day. Namaste.